more Acro live stream. Been doing more and more of these as things are a bit slow in Slovenia, so just trying to connect with everybody out there and bring you a little news roundup. So today, July 30th, is Throne Day in Morocco, which marks the ascent of King Mohammed VI to the throne. This is his 22nd throne day, and he'll be giving a speech tomorrow. It's been delayed because of COVID. And speaking of COVID in Morocco, cases are still at about 9,000 per day. Thank God, deaths are still at a lower level than they were at the last peak, but people are concerned. There's expectations of more restrictions coming into place. Already there's the nightly curfew, as well as the wearing of masks in public. The government continues to urge people to observe these, as well as social distancing. Ciao, Yasmin. Thank you for joining. In Israel, the Moroccan brothers and sisters are celebrating Throne Day as well, with celebrations in the streets. Salam, Yana, thank you for joining. And it's a time for celebration in there, as well as a little bit of caution in Morocco. So wish you all a well Throne Day and to still stay safe out there. Vaccine rollouts have occurred in Tanzania, another African nation. Their president passed away in March, so there's rumors that he was assassinated, but the main story is that he had a heart condition. There are rumors of COVID, and what happened is not always clear, right? Yeah, stay safe out there, Miriam. So in Tanzania, they rolled out the vaccines recently. The previous president was against COVID in that he said it wasn't a thing to be worried about. He was leading the charge in that. He advocated for steam therapy as well as prayer in churches and mosques. With the new president, they allowed the vaccines in, and people are still hesitant to take them. So there wasn't much demand for them when they did that. In Haiti, we reported on that back on July 7th when the president was assassinated. The investigations for this are encountering lots of difficulties. There's threats to the clerks investigating for their lives, and there's a lot of mystery going on what's exactly happening there. It's not really clear. Conspiracy theorists are going to say that both these presidents of Tanzania and Haiti were vaccine resistant, and that's why they were removed from power. Who knows? Again, vaccines been rolled out in Haiti in the recent days, and they're struggling because of power connections. They're running their refrigeration solar power, and we hope things to go back to normal there and the people to be held to justice. Another update on a former event here on the More Acro News channel, the rise of the Moors, the group who in Massachusetts, they had a standoff with the police on the highway, which led to them running to the woods. They're now suing the state for $70 million for defamation. We'll see how that one turns out. In Europe, there has been a pushback against the green certificate vaccine passports, which are now required in some countries to attend pastry shops, restaurants, bars. It's a digital certificate you show on your phone for proof of vaccination or recovery from disease or a PCR test. There's been a big pushback from certain members of the population. In Italy, they stormed the parliament, similar and reminiscent of the January 6th storming of the USA Capitol. Yep, I will be giving an update on life in Slovenia one of these days, just kind of impressions after 6 weeks of there. Welcome, Booty. Thanks for saying hello. Have a good day as well. Little update on these mosquito bites. We got a better connection today, so you could see them. Hopefully the audio and video is synced up, but it's pretty gnarly still, I would say. These are not looking good. This one, oh, it's hard to rotate my arm that way. This one looking a bit better, still like a button, and I'm kind of progressing to what the other two look like. So I've been taking the Claritin, putting a cream on. People suggested honey and lemon. I haven't tried those yet. I think I'm okay. I feel good. It's just pretty gross to see these things on your body. They're kind of itchy, but no pain, and I hope that they're going to be all right. Another update from Slovenia. Plečnik's architecture has been listed by UNESCO for cultural heritage. So his 3 bridges, his Congress Square, as well as the cemetery have all been marked as UNESCO heritage sites. So congratulations, Slovenia, for that accomplishment. They put in a bid last year and they have received. I think I had one more thing on the docket. This was a short live stream so far. Thank you all for joining, by the way. I guess I'll tell you about life in Slovenia. It's hot these days. I see in Facebook groups for expats in Slovenia long threads about finding a job in Slovenia, and people are often very disheartened. One woman was saying it's very hard. She's got a medical condition, so she can't do physical labor. And a lot of people gave their 2 cents in there. They said it's hard even for Slovenians. One man, an audio engineer, said after 300 emails, applications, he finally got a job as an audio engineer. So I guess it's possible. It just takes a lot of work. The Slovenians tend to favor Slovenians over foreigners for many jobs, and speaking the Slovenian language is a necessity for a lot of these jobs. So that's why I'm focusing on these live streams at the moment, on producing videos, because it seems to be the dream right now. Instead of going for this job that I don't exactly know what I would do in Slovenia, I'm trying to focus on building an audience here, working with the community, and trying to continue on this avenue, because the little ad revenue we get from these live streams is better than nothing, of course. Low money is better than no money, but it's been a difficult ride. Our video yesterday was not so popular. I think it's sitting at 400 views, and that's the amount of people we'd have at premieres for our Morocco videos. So I know the audience is shifting. This is our first month with actually negative subscriber growth and continues to go negative. I'm trying to do my best here with what we got. People say they enjoy the live stream, so I continue with these. We'll see where we go with this. I know the baby's coming in the next month in August, inshallah. God willing, if God writes it. Hopefully Andrea's not too late with the pregnancy. So I'm also not trying to get a job that would take me away from that. I'm looking forward to being a father. Thanks to God, we have some money right now, so things aren't too tight. I took out my retirement funding from the USA, from a pension I was paying into from a previous job for 4 years. So that's going to help us stay afloat here for a little bit. I'm looking forward to being a supportive husband and partner during these times of having a new baby. I think that's more important than running out of the house and finding a job. So if I could continue to do this, speak to everyone and tell some stories, then that would be the dream. So I'm looking forward to being at home, supporting Andrea. In the USA, that would not be an option. Parental leave, especially for fathers, is almost non-existent. I read someone in the USA, in California, they get 12 weeks to split between the husband and the wife at the school they're working at. And that's not so much. And if they were unmarried, they would both get 12 weeks off. So it's one of those cases where they said the law was not supporting them, and it's a tricky situation. I'm glad to be here. I know that these days are precious when you have a newborn, and that time goes by really fast is what everyone says, and children grow up quickly. So I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences as a new father here, something I never really thought to happen, but here we are. Someone about everything says those strange things are from vaccine. So keep injecting strange liquid in your body, which is very clever move. I really don't think these are from the vaccine. I had the vaccine back in May. So this is over 2 months later, and that is something to talk about, though. These breakthrough cases in corona with the Delta variant is, I knew this from the start, that there were people that would still get corona even after the vaccine. The narrative is that the symptoms will be less. You have less of a chance to go to the hospital to experience severe COVID. They were saying before that your viral shedding or how contagious you are would be less. This is one of the reasons I got it. My cousin told me that. But now they're saying with the Delta variant, that may not be the case. With 100 to 1,000 times more virus in the upper respiratory, it seems that you'll be spreading it just as much. So is the vaccine really a strange liquid? Maybe to someone that I'm not, I study biology, but to someone that doesn't know what's going on, that, yeah, of course it's going to feel strange. But I do trust the people that work in these laboratories, big pharmaceutical companies, maybe not so much, but the individuals that are researching these. Moroccan was in charge of this in America. Mohammed Salih, I believe it was. He was head of Project Warp Speed, which was Trump's push to get these vaccines out on the market and to go. People worry about the FDA experimental thing. We take a lot of experimental stuff. So I'm hoping that this is not from the vaccine. I had never heard of anyone having this from the vaccine. It's more likely from mosquitoes that I'm not used to in Slovenia. Yep says, try using shorter and more interesting titles. Hopefully you'll get more viewers and subscribers. I'm experimenting with shorter titles and interesting titles, something catchy, something you want to click on, but I'm still working on the long term of search engine optimization. People say that that doesn't work, that's outdated, but the only views I'm getting from the old Morocco videos seem to be coming from search engine right, from YouTube search. The suggested videos, the browse features have gone down there, so it's mostly on that search engine. I've experimented with shorter titles, and those videos just bomb. I don't know what it is about them, but when I do use these shorter titles, they don't seem to work. When I'm making YouTube shorts, I'm gonna keep shorter titles. About everything. I would love for you to drop a comment about rashes developing from the vaccines, or how it is the truth. You say it's a strange liquid. I would love for you to drop some sources in the comments, right? Yep. You got your first shot. Wait till the second one. A lot of people experience the side effects on the second one, and they're usually tiredness or some fever, chills. At least that's what I had. You can check out that video on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine reaction video. Yep, I'm curious to see where you're coming from, where you got the shot, what shot it was, and give us an update in a couple weeks when you get that second shot. Morocco, in reaction to their increased cases, had 500,000 shots given in a day. That's a really impressive number. Really shocking, really. That's huge. So, yeah, Mohammed Salih, he was the one that was in charge of the vaccines in the USA. So, smart man. You got to trust smart people. You hope so. A lot of these people know much more than us. I saw a friend post something from her biophysics studies, and there's a whole whiteboard marker of just graphs and formulas. And yes, it's strange if you don't understand it, but I know that you hate to say, oh, trust the science, but it's what I guess you got to do in a case like this. Or, it seems to be such a vocal pushback against vaccines. In every video you see about vaccines, the dislikes are way greater than the likes. It's really an interesting phenomenon. Is the comment section too, is everyone supporting these anti-vaccine comments? and it's always just a small voice of reason, of showing stats of these things that they get drowned out in a lot of these videos. It's a really interesting situation and time we're living in, especially to be having a baby in such a crazy time. You know, before I'd say, I don't know if I want to bring a baby into this crazy world. This was years ago, you know, and then in the end, we have a baby during what might be, it's probably one of the craziest times of my lifetime, I would say. In the end, we'll see what this happens. I guess people think the end game of these vaccines is depopulation. They think that everyone's just going to start dropping like flies in 5 or 10 years, and that they support their um, they believe in these Georgia Guidestones. So I don't know if anyone knows about the Georgia Guidestones. They're these Stonehenge looking like stones in Georgia, and they have these rules for guiding humanity into a golden era, to work with nature to maintain a population below 500 million. And that's where they think that these vaccines are going to lead to. About everything says, I think people not interested in Slovenian culture is its like usual European one. It is what some comments have said, is it's nothing special, but it is unique. You know, it's got a lot of things that are common with other ones, but there's things that make it unique, right? It's something borrowed from everyone. Slovenia is uniquely Slovene, and that's what makes it special. It's a small population that has managed to carve out its own country. You know, Slovenian language goes back over 1,000 years, and it's a pride for the people, especially the basketball team these days. I've tried titles in Arabic. Almost all the old videos are translated into Arabic in terms of subtitles, in terms of titles, in terms of descriptions, but I don't know what's going on there. One Morocco girl died from J&J this week. Go ahead and drop that link in the comments. It might go to hell for review, but I'll check it out. A lot of people have reported that comments are deleted on these live streams or on things that should be deleted. Sometimes the hate comments are deleted, but that's not me doing it. I will block some people if they are just being mean or hateful or rude, but people's opinions, I believe, need to be heard, you know? Paul Bogo says, too much trust in the government. I think it's a lot of mistrust in the government in a lot of these cases, you know. There are people that, yeah, trust the government because it dictates every aspects of their lives. You know, you're given a number when you're born. It helps maintain the law and order, but there's varying degrees of accepting everything that these governments say, you know, and every government is not created equal. And I mean, the distrust in the American government, I would say, is an all-time high, and they've done a lot of things that qualify for this mistrust, unfortunately, you know, and it's really crazy time in America right now, I would say. There's a huge divide. Joe Biden is not in the news so much, but one thing he is in the news for recently is he said federal workers will need to be vaccinated or be subjected to bi-weekly tests. So it's crazy, crazy world. So it's not really mandated, and you get tested. It could be a form of medicinal warfare, where before we had the military industrial complex that would get all the money, all the contracts, and now we're getting this form in terms of subsidized tests and forced vaccination. So crazy, crazy time. I don't know where the truth lies. I just like to ask the questions and to have these conversations, even if it's just through a chat. Mosquitoes also have a needle and strange liquid in them. Yeah, I'd say this is worse of a reaction, mosquitoes, than the vaccine reaction. At least the vaccine reaction was like a night, and then I had like a headache the next day, but it didn't have these nasty things coming about. Talking about nasty things, you ever see smallpox? Even worse, they'll cover your whole body. Luckily, thanks to vaccines, smallpox have been eradicated. Back in the 70s, I believe, 73, I think the world was declared smallpox free. And there's still cases of it in laboratories, and they're hoping for that to never be used as bioterrorism. There was, as you see pictures of smallpox, and I think that really led to people getting a lot of acceptance of the smallpox vaccine. I think if people could see the inside of lungs or what COVID could actually do to someone, then people would accept these vaccines more so. The things, polio, another example of vaccines, and there's always been an anti-vaccine push. Over 100 years in Morocco, in America, they had these anti-vaccine societies, and a lot of these societies and people, I think, are often religious and believe in the natural perfection of their immune system of their body, not putting anything foreign into there. And I think a lot of the vaccine people now are also political. So I think this influences people's perspectives on this, is both religion and politics. Politics more so in the USA, I would say, and religion more so in Morocco, or distrust of the government in Morocco or of a global cabal of some sort. So yeah, mosquitoes and strange liquid in them, and often even stranger diseases within this liquid. What causes allergic reactions are the proteins in the mosquito saliva, and that's the same thing that you're training your body with a vaccine, is to respond to these spike proteins, which are on the outside of a virus, and that's what constantly mutates and creates all these Greek alphabet variations, are these spike proteins. So I think one day they're going to run out of Greek letters to name these corona variants with. I mean, that's only natural, and we'll see where that takes us. So Adrar says, thumbs down to the vaccine. Ahmad says, does vaccination have an effect? Of course, there's a that tracks the side effects of the vaccine. VAERS.com, vaccine adverse VAR, vaccine adverse reactions maybe, and it tracks it all from the heart conditions and everything. So who knows what the right decision is. I feel good knowing that Andrea is not vaccinated. Of course, I feel that she is more at risk for getting the virus, but I feel like the test dummy to get the vaccine before she does it with the baby. In the UK, midwives are saying they're encouraging women to get this vaccine. I know my cousin who works for a pharmaceutical company was also encouraging her to get it, saying it was safe, but we both kind of said, I don't know. Let's not. Let's avoid that. Do you ever think you'll see Bernie as U.S. president? Probably not. I think he's given up out of these 2 times running, but who knows? Maybe during your videos you can give people some advice about healthy living and healthy foods and exercises like yoga and stuff. I think people would be interested in this stuff. Cheers. I do like that. I think about this often, is going back to posting some yoga videos and some tips for that. Maybe getting back in the gym or so, because that's still a passion of mine. And more Acro, actually not French, it was never Morocco addict, as more Acro would translate in French, is about doing more Acro yoga, more things you love. And we kind of went down different paths with that. Paul Bogo asks if you're getting a Slovenian passport down the track. No, I don't think so. I'm hoping to get my residency permit. We're still working on that. Got to go through all those hoops to get that. or else I got to leave the country on, what is that, June, July, August, September 10th or 11th. Andrea doesn't want that to happen. So we got to get all our papers in order for that to occur. We got all the fingerprints and we got to just get some things translated. The problem of having 2 million proud people with their language is you got to get documents translated, which is a pain in the butt. Someone asked me if I prefer Slovenia or Morocco. I definitely prefer Morocco. I expressed this to Andrea. I found contentment in Slovenia, but it's just not the same life. I still dream of Morocco most nights, I would say. Last night I had a surfboard that I rented. I was looking at all the beaches. There weren't so many waves, but I was still on the wave hunt in this dream. I came across our friends Omar and Yazid. You might have seen them in the Bastia video. Omar was the one slowly cutting the Bastia. Yazid's the one with the salt house surf camp. And they were eating Moroccan food. They had this beautiful grilled fish. And Yazid had this big steak, like Chamolay style. And I just said in my dream, I miss Moroccan food. I feel healthier there. I enjoy the vibes much more. Slovenia is very nice. I'm enjoying exploring, learning all about the culture, the history, diving in deep to this unique little place. But at the end of the day, I still prefer Morocco. And I'm not hiding this to Andrea. I let her know how I feel, and she misses Morocco as well, I think. But she feels at home here. It's been a while, and she's got that nesting instinct. I still believe this is the place to be at this time in our lives. That is for sure. If you're having a baby in Morocco, it's two people that had extended their visa indefinitely due to Corona. I don't think that's going to be an easy birth experience or finding all the papers. We got to still deal with getting a passport here and residency for both people. It's like children. Yeah, but that's my stance on Slovenia versus Morocco. I hope to get there. Our friend Sarah got back there, and there's rumors of the borders closing again in Morocco. Rumor is August 28th, like they did. It's been a crazy year and a half there in state of emergency. Constant fluctuations in the border and restrictions. The beach is open, the beach is closed, and that's just a pain in the butt. If you see our old videos, one restriction is the masks in public, and that was never really, it was enforced in the beginning, and then people got lazy. I'd go to Tagazoot and I'd be criticized for wearing a mask. Like, what are you doing? There's no corona. And then, you fall into the peer pressure or into society pressure, and you take off the mask. So that's going on in some of those videos. But now times have changed. The Delta is super contagious. I think that's what's causing all these increase in cases. If you had Moroccan extra virgin olive oil, you could become immortal. I don't know if that's true. I prefer argan oil for the taste. Welcome, Clement, to the chat. Clement is back from Morocco. He's in France. And I would love to hear if you got vaccinated in France. It would be fun to have you on the podcast actually sometime. I've thought about getting Felix on here. I'd love to interview my Swedish friend Clement in France to kind of hear about the situation. It's always good to hear what the situation smells like from their point of view, what they hear from their little perspective. It's really nice. Andrade says, politics and religion, thumbs down, poop. A lot of times these politics and religion are manipulative forces. Sometimes in their pureness, they could be very beautiful things that help society thrive, help people live their best lives. But a lot of times they could also be used for very poor things. It'd be interesting discovering some Slovenian cinema through your videos. I'm yet to see a Slovenian movie. I read in a book that Slovenian movies will never be profitable just because the cost of making them. And if everyone still bought a ticket to see the movie, it'd still be a loss. So Slovenian cinema is funded by the government. I guess this is one of the positives of government. They could invest in arts in their society to help make things sustainable and interesting for people. You know, if you're going to be a movie maker in Slovenia and you want to showcase the Slovenian style and the Slovenian language, the poetry, you're going to need to get money from somewhere. It's not going to be from the people. So they do this, but unfortunately give it to just a few people in the society, you know, the favorite directors and stuff. That's the case of Slovenian cinema. Clement says he misses the €3 pizzas in Morocco. Yeah, pizza's a bit more here, more than €3. Clement would live on pizza a lot of days. He would get that. He would get the burgers. He would make his Moroccan tea every day. That's one thing I regret, is not making the Frenchman making Moroccan tea video. That would have been a banger. Hopefully, Clement, we could get back to Morocco one day, be surfing Imarain and all the beaches. Banana Point, we had some good surfs there. Maybe one day. In the meantime, it's just Melvin there as the last European in Tamrat at the moment. Paul Bogo says, nothing like a good schnitzel. I haven't had a schnitzel here in Slovenia yet, but I agree. I like a good schnitzel. I got to get on that. Schnitzel and fries. Eric Duncan crushing it. What you could have done 2 more years in Tamrat. True. There's a lot to do there. What you could have done in 2 more months in Morocco. Eric started a YouTube channel in Morocco. He was our neighbor at one point. He got corona in Tamrat. He survived. He had a couple challenges there, but now he's in Turkey, and I want to see some updates from Turkey. I saw your kebab video, made my mouth drool, you know. His most popular short was old-fashioned knife sharpening for Eid in Morocco, and that was really interesting. Clement got his 2 doses of vaccine. I want to hear about your side effects. Do you have these weird boils on you like I do? This isn't from the vaccine, though. Some would say, you know, vaccine destroys your immune system. I really don't think that would be the case if all these measures, masks, social distancing, vaccines were to alleviate the burden on the hospital system. I don't think destroying everyone's immune system. Someone in the comments said, like AIDS, you know, destroys your immune system. I really don't think that's the case, because hospitals would be flooded, we'd all die, essential workers would be gone, and I don't think society would work. If everyone that got a vaccine died, society would collapse, and I don't think that is the goal here. Rashid, good morning. I think I will be okay. Thank you for the vote of confidence. Alami says, it'd be nice if you could start a podcast. You can explore where your old friends from Morocco and around the world are evolving in this strange time. Yeah, these live streams are kind of a form of a podcast to me. They're not very formal podcast. I interact with the viewers a lot, and I think about doing a podcast. This is my version of a podcast, though. It's not, we don't have famous guests on here yet, but we're working on it. Yeah, Clement, make a Moroccan tea video if you still have your bread and some nana from Morocco. That'd be great. Your teapot and mince from Morocco. Yep says, then maybe make some videos about some of your or Andrea's favorite movies or books. That's a good idea. Some books that changed my life. Some of my favorite movies. That could be interesting. But I think a lot of our audience was interested in Morocco. We have a small slice that is interested in us, and we'll continue to deliver the content for that group. Eric says, I'm going to do more videos here. I've been live streaming on TikTok. I got to find you on TikTok, Eric. I haven't seen you on there. Turkey is at 20,000 cases a day. Talk of lockdown. Oh, yeah, that's double what Morocco is right now. And there's rumors of lockdown coming here in Slovenia in August. You know, everyone's whispering of the Delta wave, and that's going to have all these cases. Luckily, I was taught in my science classes that as a bacteria or virus gets more contagious, it gets less deadly. So hopefully that's what we're seeing. Whispers from the UK is they're approaching herd immunity, because they had this huge increase in cases. If you look at their graph, And then they opened everything. It was Freedom Day in the UK, and cases are going down after that. So it's kind of the opposite of what you'd expect. We'll see a week or two from Freedom Day what happens with the incubation period, but we'll see what happens. I did nothing happen, not through very safe, just make you a bit of plan, that's all. I don't understand the comment flow echo, but having plans is good, but sometimes our plans get thrown out the window, as we've all learned in the past year and a half. Paul says, I'm in Melbourne, Australia. Can we add 5 lockdowns in 2 years and itching to get back to Slovenia? Paul, are you Slovenian in Australia? Um, I love Australia. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know that's where I started surfing and got a lot of good memories in Australia. So hope you survived the lockdown. I know there's been protests against lockdowns in Australia. They react very extremely to small cases in the same way Morocco did at the start of the pandemic. There's like 27 cases in Morocco, and they go, okay, we're locking down, closing borders with these countries. You need these papers to travel, and that was the situation really quickly in Morocco. People got sick of that situation, is my opinion. What happened, people got sick of these regulations, opened back up. It's a constant cycle. It's a pain in the butt. If you got fire, it's going to keep spreading, you know, and you could put, I don't know what the solution is. Clement said, my arm was a bit hurting, but nothing else. My sister had a hard day with fever. It really depends. Yeah, I had a really, really bad fever that night, and my arm hurt for like 3 days. That's true. I think that's one of the most common reaction. The needle is big, you know. Yusuf, we miss Morocco too. KM asks if we'll travel Europe, and at this time, Andrea could give birth any day, you know, it's kind of the situation. So we're not going to travel Europe at the moment, and no plans to travel with the baby around Europe. I think we'd rather go to Morocco first and spend the winter there. Someone said Slovenia or Morocco earlier. I'm comparing Slovenian summer to Morocco year round. So I haven't experienced Slovenia in the winter or fall or spring, but I can imagine it to be inspiring to leave, as Chicago was with the constant snow and cold. It's not really my cup of tea, and I really hope that we have this dream to be able to travel and kind of live nomadically in these first couple of years of the baby's life. And even in its younger years, if we could work on a homeschooling project or something, that this is kind of the goal, because we have family around the world and we want to educate our daughter in a way that's accepting of other cultures, that's aware of other cultures, of languages, of food. So that's kind of the dream, is to be able to travel around and have these experiences. What you're taught is once you have a baby, it's over. You know, you can't travel, all your fun is gone. We want to be able to live a life that shows that that's not necessarily true. You know, we want to be able to travel, to experience new things, to live our dreams. And just because you have a child, that's not all out the window, because that's what you hear, that's what you're taught. And we hope that's not true. You know, we see other people doing it, traveling, and it's even more beautiful when you're seeing it through a new set of eyes. You know, when I was in Bali in 2013, I remember watching a sunset, and it was kind of lonely at the time. You know, I was homesick in Australia, so I planned some travels home through Asia. I remember thinking, like, these are things that you want to share with other people. And, you know, as good as having the freedom of independence, of being able to rely on nobody, in the end of the day, I think you want to have someone to connect with. And, you know, I found that with Andrea, and now we're having a baby to see this world in new eyes, which I think is really beautiful, to have someone see the ocean for the first time and to be there for that experience. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a beautiful experience, especially if we could continue to travel. We have not met any subscribers in Slovenia. Sorry, just read something. You look like a mop. Thank you. We have not met subscribers in Slovenia. We got some messages from people saying they see us at Open Kitchen, other vloggers, and they said, "Oh, we're too shy to say hi." But we've been recognized at the Open Kitchen in Slovenia, and that's kind of funny to see, but not like we were in Morocco. It happened pretty quick in Morocco that boy riding his bike or in the shop would say, "Oh, he's got a YouTube channel." So that happened much quicker. Um, we'll see. I don't know if Slovenians watch YouTube as much. I live in northern Morocco and never been to Tagazout nor Agadir. When do you think it's best to visit? Yep, if you want to experience Tagazout and Agadir, I suggest the winter. It's going to be a bit cooler, but it's sunnier. I don't know what the weather is like in northern Morocco. I know in Chefchaouen it's cold and rainy in the winter, so if you want to escape that, you go to Agadir and Tagazout in the winter. But there's not a lot of Moroccan tourists there. I've been in Tagazout, Agadir every calendar day of the year, you know, so I've experienced it throughout all seasons, and I prefer the winter. You know, January, February, December is the biggest wave, so even if you don't surf, you could see some extreme ocean action, you know. Summer, there's a lot of Moroccans there because I think they're escaping the heat in Marrakesh, Ouarzazate. The ocean can be enjoyed without a wetsuit in the winter. You're going to need a wetsuit. The water is cold, so I think that stops a lot of families from going on holidays there. But my experience of Agadir and Tagazout in the summer is similar to busy places in America in the summer. It's just full of families and children in the ocean swimming, enjoying their time. But for me, I prefer a less crowded beach, and that's what I had experienced in the winter there. There's just mostly European tourists, less children at the beach. I don't know if you like children at the beach or not, but I really enjoy the winter there because it's more sunny. In the summer, Agadir, Tagazout, it's really cloudy. That's something that you might not know if you've never been there, but it's often very cloudy and foggy in the morning until about 4. The sun burns all the clouds away, and it's a beautiful day then. But it could still be really hot. Parents Slovenian, born in Melbourne. Okay, cool. So hopefully one day you get over to Slovenia. I hope you enjoy our videos for showing some parts of Slovenia, some Slovenian food. This is talking to Paul Bogo. He's Slovenian, born in Melbourne. I wonder if you found this channel when we were in Morocco or from our new Slovenian video. So interesting. Welcome aboard. I've never seen you commenting so much in these videos, but you're welcome. Clement says, I have to go, but tell me one day if you want me on podcast live. Enjoy your day. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a Clement on the podcast, so we should have him. He used to be on the lives. We'll get him on the show. Can you do a souk video in Slovenia? We did a souk video at the Ljubljana Central Market where we saw how much 200 dirham would get you, and check that out. Ljubljana Market, 20 euro challenge or something like that. And it was sad. It was at that point that I really, really missed the souk because we got like half kilo of figs, a tomato, a butternut squash, some blueberries, some cherries, and a couple plants. That we ran out of money. It was like really sad, but it's the most expensive market probably in the country. You know, it's in the capital, maybe in a tourist region, but it's the farmers market in the capital, you know, so I think locals go there as well. And it was really bad, you know. It was 6 euro or 60 dirham for a lot of the fruit, and that's just not sustainable on our budget, you know. So we've been shopping at Hofer, the Slovenian version of Aldi. So we're doing our best with that. Oh man, a lot of comments I missed here. Corona restricts freedom. Corona doesn't restrict freedom. The government's reactions to Corona restrict freedoms. And what is the cost of freedom, you know? Those are zombies, not mosquitoes. Yeah. Block on the Rock says it's the leprosy, and that's what it feels like. I felt like I had some flesh-eating bacteria. This one's looking better though, so that gives me hope. It's like dry, but these are still like oozing and stuff, and it's not so good. But I've been doing my best to keep them clean, keep them zween. They're definitely not zween right now. Uh, it's fun doing my best. Thank you, Y. Some people can be rude. That's okay. Um, One of the 4 agreements, Toltec wisdom, is to never take anything personally. The way people treat you is usually no reflection of you, but a reflection of them and their beliefs and where they are at that day. You know, you don't know what someone's gone through. You don't know what creates their belief system and their glasses from which they see the world. So don't worry about rude people. Rude people gonna be rude, you know? Is there a lot of foreigners in Slovenia? There's some. I wouldn't say a lot, but there is definitely some. You hear English being spoken. I've met some people through Acro yoga, and there's not so many, especially in the town I'm in. There's some Albanians, and they run a lot of businesses. They sell fruit. They sell the yufka doner kebab. We're going to be doing a video on that. Someone said, oh, is there halal food in Slovenia? I couldn't find any. And we found your halal food, even in a small town. So I'm going to be featuring my favorite kebab coming up, or yufka, as they call it here in Slovenia, for a wrap. And we're going to be showing that. They say the doner kebab is made here in Slovenia. Andrea doubts it, but maybe we'll check the kebab factory one day. That'd be interesting. When will you come to China? I am a Moroccan residing here. Walida Zain asks. I don't know if China's in the to-do list, but I would love to go to China one day and visit the countryside, try some Chinese food. I think Chinese food is one of the most diverse cuisines in the world in terms of each region. You know, there's so many people, so many grandma's recipes. There's this really cool Chinese YouTube channel where it's like really nice country vibes. No one even talks, and they show crazy recipes where they had a watermelon one and they made like pickled watermelon, and then they did all these watermelon recipes, and it was really cool. Some of these recipes involve weeks or months of preparation. You know, they go to the farm, prepare it, let it dry, boil it, and it's all just for this one little grain. Really cool things going on in China. I hope you enjoy your life in China, Walid. I'd heard they could be racist in China, but I hope you're finding happiness and community there in China. Any plans for a Slovenian version of the haircut video? I think it's time. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't had a haircut since the Sport Clips video in the USA, so I think it's time. It's getting a little crazy. I still think about shaving it for a reaction video to Andrea, but I think she might cry. She always says no, no, no when I suggest that. So I don't think we're gonna do that. Yeah, Miss Spices, Slovenia seems quite expensive. And it is, you know, some things that are cheaper here are not necessarily the good things, like beer and gummy bears. You know, I've been buying gummy bears because I quit the beer about a month ago. Feeling good for that. Better mental state, I would say, for sure. And so that's definitely a bright side, is avoiding the beer here. But a lot of things to be expensive. Pizza could be cheap, and yeah, not much is cheap. But check this out. I got one of these on my face too. I forgot to mention this the other day. The leprosy on my eyebrow. But this one is still dry and looking okay. I don't know what's going on with these. We're working on it. Do you live in Texas? Is bad Schlienwater? Taxes. I don't know. I don't exactly understand that comment. If you could translate it a little bit better, maybe I could answer. One more thing that was cheaper in Slovenia, data is actually cheaper. Your cell phone, you know. You get unlimited data for like 15 euro. In Morocco, I'd spend 1 euro and the data would expire in a day. You know, I wouldn't even use it all, but the way they had it, it would expire if I bought 10 gigs for a month, you know, it would run out. Here, data is surprisingly cheap in Slovenia for your phone. You know, telecom is really good. That's nice. Maybe we can do some live streams out in the city. I want to do some interviews of people in Slovenia, just get their perspective on things, give them a voice. Any questions I should ask the Slovenian people, go ahead and drop them in the comments, and I will go to the streets and hopefully work up some courage to talk to some strangers and see what's going on in the minds of Slovenia. Lakes in Slovenia have been very beautiful. The nature is very nice. Baby bump coming on. Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger. Less and less space in there, I think, for the baby. Andrea's taking a nap now. She woke up earlier. Now she's going back to bed. I gave her the whole bed, and she's chilling right now. So hopefully she's doing all right. Always clean. You're right. The road to enlightenment. Hey, we're living one day at a time. We're all on the path. Omar asks if we're returning to Morocco. Inshallah, we really hope to one day, Right now it's too hard to say. Baby's not even born. Baby doesn't have a passport. But we hope to get back there, We love it there. I still have dreams about it all the time. And we hope to get there. You could open a American restaurant in Slovenia. What we hope to do today, actually, there's a vegan restaurant that has a Moroccan bowl. We're going to skip the open kitchen and go to the Moroccan bowl to try it out, to bring it to you guys. But I don't know if the Moroccan restaurant would be so hot in Slovenia. It'd be interesting. But I have no experience in opening a restaurant or running a business of sorts. I would like I don't know. It's a big task, I've worked in Macho Taco restaurant, but I've never been in charge of finding suppliers. I think that's key, is finding good ingredients if you have a restaurant. Menu is less important than good ingredients. If you have good ingredients, you can have good food. I think that's most important part of having a restaurant. China is awesome. I'm Moroccan, and I die to visit China once, says why. Yeah, it'd be a good trip. It's huge, though, It's like, how are you going to visit everything? Where do you even start? I would get out of the cities, and I would like to visit the Chinese countryside, but being there, language could be a barrier. Recently, news out of China, they banned or put severe restrictions on the private tutoring, which worries me because that was one of my sources of income. I worked as a private tutor for Chinese children, but in a strive for equality, they have eliminated the private tutoring. So it costs a lot of money. Only the people in the cities can afford it, and the people in the countrysides would be left behind in a lot of these private tutoring adventures, especially in the English language. So it's up in the air what the future of that job for me is. I worked with VIP Kid Company, big company, and they haven't really spoken about it yet. So we'll see what's up with that. I won't call it racism, but mainly ignorance, especially that some of them have never met foreigners before. That's really interesting to me, to be in a culture that's so like homogenous, all the same, in this day and age in 2021, that there's still places that people have never met a foreigner before. I'm sure they exist in Morocco too, in some villages and things, but it's interesting to have that. But it's good to hear you haven't experienced racism. And you being there is part of the cure to ignorance, Some say ignorance is bliss. My mom would say that. I disagree. I like to know what's going on. I don't like the ignorance. I like to really know the story. I love the way you think about China, and there's more about it than you cited. Hope you can add it to your to-do list. It is worth it. Yeah, I would love to spend more time in nature. I have a dream to live around the world. People always say, oh, you're going to settle in Morocco, Slovenia, or USA. I would love to have still some time in Asia where I spend an extended period of time, as well as in South America, because now I've lived extended time in Australia, Africa, Morocco, USA, and Europe. Now I've spent over a year of my life in Europe. I would still love to spend some more time in South America and Asia before I die at some point, whether teaching English or wherever this life may take me as an educator or I don't know, but still a dream if the family could go. Or I think that would be enriching to a child to experience different cultures, and for me, for my belly, to experience different foods. This would be the dream. Big change to Morocco, where it's very cheap. I think it was cheaper when the dollar was getting better, but in the past year or so, the dirham has gained some traction against the dollar. So I think it's also getting expensive, more expensive, but I think it's still a lot cheaper than Slovenia. Keep stacking Bitcoin and XRP. Happy days. I'm waiting until it gets up again. I'm still about half. I bought it on May 9th. If you check the graphs, that was the worst time to buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, or Ethereum. Still the worst. Block, no, just coffee days. No, no herbs, no drinks, no tea, no sugar in my coffee. Your hair is awesome. Bald guys are jealous. I agree. Anyone calling me a mop is just bald. Shnilawa. Shnilawa. So this is the bite of Shnilawa. That's a hard word to say in Moroccan. It's really hard to say. I need to hear it first. Why China? Yeah, I would love to hear why you're in China. That would be a good thing to hear. I wonder if you ever saw a video with Fatima Luna, who spent some time in China as a Moroccan musician, and she brought her music there, and it was really welcomed. So if you go back and check that video, you might enjoy that. Waleed, I don't know if you've seen those, but definitely it's short podcasts, like 10 minutes. You'll enjoy it. I never forgot the guy in the souk that owned a market stall saying he wanted to live better in the West. Little did he know I want the simple life and would swap with him tomorrow. Yeah, people always say the grass is greener. We always want what we can't have. And simple life is good, I guess we always dream and we see what we want to see in another place sometimes. So I hope everyone finds their dreams where they're at, or works and finds a way to make it happen. Stack those SATs. Crypto's on the move. The bottom is in. I don't know what that means. I'm sure you'll reach the dream in time. Yes, we're on our way. Oh my gosh, it's 57 minutes of this live stream. I can't believe that. Last time I saw it was like 27 or 38, but we're going. Welcome, Hamza. Fuad says, man, long time no see. How have you been? We're doing all right. We're hanging in there, staying home a lot, making some videos of Slovenia, traveling around the country here, keeping it low. Andrea's resting. She walks too much. Her feet get too big. So we're hanging out. Chinawa is mosquito, not China. Chinawa. Yeah, I'm turning into a dad. Maturing. I feel it. It's changing. No, this is not mosquito eggs in my body. I hope not. But man, take a close up. We got better reception today for the live stream. So hope you enjoyed it. And that's a wrap, guys. It's been an hour. I hope you enjoyed. If you joined in late, thank you for tuning in, even late. And we'll see you next time from Slovenia, keeping it real, the More Acro channel. Thank you.